Okay, it is June 2nd, 2026, and welcome to another episode of how God is leading me to my kingdom husband and marriage and the lessons I've been learning along the journey. So, welcome. This is my testimony. I'm Helen, and we are now in a series called Escape. And so I left off where we're having dinner with my ex, at that time, boyfriend's family to say goodbye. I was going to miss my bus to get out of there. And so he transferred me not $100, but $1,000. And so let's continue. So at this point, I'm smiling because I'm like, oh my gosh, Lord, you are so amazing. You are so amazing. You are so amazing. I was just so grateful, so happy to God. And so dinner was done and everything. And then the next day, I believe it's the next day, the next day, I was like, okay, I have $1,000. Now let me really plan. And so what I did was I went and I found a ticket online, an airline ticket. And I found it was expensive, but it was enough. The $1,000 was enough to cover. I think it was like maybe $600 or $700. I don't know, something like that. But I booked it because it was going to go directly from Detroit to New York, to the place that I needed to be. I keep forgetting the name of the place. I think it's Plattsburgh, something like that. Anyway, that's where I needed to go. So with the $1,000, I was able to get a direct flight to New York. I was able to book a hotel, motel kind of thing for the night. I was able to have money to get a taxi to go from the hotel to the border of Canada. And I didn't even realize at that time that it was kind of far, number one. And the taxis that you called were not ordinary taxis. They were special taxis. They knew how to do this, and that would cost money. At that time, I think it cost like $90. So look at how God just provided. So now I had a perfect escape. So I bought the ticket for Monday. So this is just a couple of days after the dinner. I did not tell my boyfriend. I was like, at this point, I'm just leaving. I felt bad because of course, I appreciate everything that he had done for me. He's not a bad person at all. But at that point, I was just like, I have to choose my Father. I have to choose my Father, my God, and my Savior. And I have to get out of this. Because if this man is talking to something in a language that sounds demonic, he has been influenced by the enemy. And who knows what he could do. You know, I think a lot of times we underestimate demonic influence. You know, when you hear people say, when they interview neighbors of, let's say, a person that killed their whole family, and the neighbors are always saying things like, I never knew. I cannot believe he did that. He did not look like the kind. He was the nicest person. He was a church goer. How do you think that happens? I know we put it on mental illness, but here's my personal opinion. Behind every mental illness, there's a spiritual aspect. This is just my personal opinion. So I'm not denying the mental illness part, but there's a driving force, and it's demonic. Especially when it seems like someone just out of nowhere, out of the blue, just happened to kill and murder. There's something behind it. And so for me, I thought, listen, he could do anything at any time. Anything at any time. And I'm here by myself. There's absolutely no way I could allow that. I could not. And so my thing was like, I'm just going to escape, and then I'll let him know Because at this point I realized this dude is going to try and do whatever he can to make me stay. And so I bought the ticket, did not let him know. The flight was for like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So Monday morning comes, I wake up as usual. I help him make his lunch. I used to make his lunch for work. As usual, like normal. Kiss, say goodbye, see you later. As soon as he leaves, Helen steps into action. So now I take the rest of my stuff to my friend. I'm like, please hold the stuff for me until I ask you to send it to me in Canada. So I'm running around trying to do last minute things, finalizing my car. So I was going to just give my car back because I hadn't finished paying for it. And so I just finalized that, like, you guys can come and get this car. And so I'm like, I'm out of here. And so the time came, I got an Uber, went to the airport. On my way, I was just thinking, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this. And I really believe that God sent me an angel to be my Uber driver. It was this young black guy. And he was very, I don't know, we had a really good conversation and it was very profound. It's almost like he was encouraging me without knowing what I was doing. And then he asked me a question. He said, have you ever heard of the Blue Book Bible or Blue Letter Bible? And I was like, no, I haven't. He said, look into it. So this was 2019. This was October when I left. So October 2019, he told me about the Blue Letter Bible. I didn't know what that was at that time, but I later discovered what it was. But his words were very encouraging. And I just said, something about this guy. Something. He's not just an ordinary person. And I truly believe to this day that the Lord sent me an angel. He sent me an angel to guide me all the way to the airport. And so I went to the airport, got on the plane. I had a good flight. Everything went well. Got to New York, really well. And when I was in New York, I actually met these 2 young ladies from Colombia. And they were doing the same thing that I was about to do, but they had nowhere. I think they had nowhere to stay. They had no phone. They had nothing. And so I said, okay, you can. So I told them that there are hotels around. I told them where I was going. I think they said they were going to try and go to another one. And so I said, okay, you guys can hop in my Uber, and then we'll go to your hotel first, and then. Oh yeah, they had a hotel, but they didn't know how they were going to get to the hotel. Sorry. So I said, that's fine. I ordered an Uber. You guys can come in. I'll drop you off where you guys go, and then I'll go where I go. And so that's what happened. Got the hotel. Of course, I hate hotels, period, no matter how nice they are. So this was a cheaper hotel. I just felt so dirty. I didn't even want to sleep in the bed, but what could I do? So here I am, about to have escape of a lifetime. So I'm in there at night and I contemplate, should I let him know that I've left or should I wait till I cross the border? So I decide, you know what, let me just send him a text. So I sent him a text and I was like, hey, I just want you to know that I'm in New York. And I'm on my way to Canada. And I turned off my phone so I would not have to receive his text or anything. And so that was the last night I spent in the USA. A cheap hotel in New York. I had escaped my relationship with my boyfriend. But really, as I look back, I had escaped a bad situation. And God orchestrated every single step. Every single step. And that's why he told me, you either choose him or you choose me. And he knew that if I chose him, he had everything planned out. And he did. And he did. And so we will continue the story about how I escaped and how I moved over into Canada.